Hi, ladies. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Jaki Sabourin here. And today I want to talk to you about how to be more confident in yourself. Such a big part of dating and relationships and keeping the love alive if you're already in a relationship. You want to continue to hold that confidence that your man discovered in you when he first met you. So let's talk about where confidence comes from. And so real confidence comes from not external things. Sure, your look can make you feel confident, and your clothes can make you feel confident, your hair, maybe the car you're driving, your job. All of those are external things that, yes, they can make you feel more confident. But the bottom line is your real confidence is only going to come from within. And it comes from within when you truly learn to accept and love yourself on all levels. So, a really fast way to do this is to start to make peace with your body. Hi, Gina. And I find that that's a big roadblock for a lot of women is they judge their bodies. You might be judging your weight, your height, the way you look. And until you make peace with the things that you can't change, and maybe you can make some changes to those, but I suggest you just fall in love with yourself as you are now, not waiting till you lose 10 pounds, not waiting till you some future event, not relying on anything externally to make yourself feel good, and accepting yourself on a deep level, because when you accept yourself on a deep level, that creates a lot of external confidence, and men really love a woman who accepts herself. I'm sure you've all seen women who are with men and you're like, wow, wonder how she got him. Well, it's because she's confident and she loves and accepts herself. So really, that is a core at feeling confident. And so you just have to show up as your own best friend. That's what it really comes down to. You have to be there for you. You have to be there to meet all of your needs from within and really showing up for yourself above and beyond what anybody could ever do. A man can never hold you in the center of his world indefinitely. Eventually, if you're getting into a relationship, a man's going to have to go back to whatever he's doing with his life and focus on that, because in the beginning of a relationship everything's all hot, and then things, the fire cools a little bit, everybody has to go back to their regular life, and you don't want to when he withdraws some of his attention to focus on what he needs to focus on, you don't want yourself to feel like he's pulling away. That's going to make you feel insecure. But if you base your real confidence on you and loving and accepting yourself, you're not going to experience those emotional fluxes, those dips that we take emotionally that affect our relationships. They affect our men, and they affect the way men view us. And I know we have hormones and we do have fluxes and life's ebb and flow, but it's up to us to cope with that. We have to have a higher level of coping skills in place so that we can address when life, the hormones, and when life throws us those curveballs, because life will. And that's going to show your true nature, is how you handle when life throws you a curveball. Are you going to meet it with confidence? Are you going to meet it with the understanding that you can work through it because you have you on your side? Or you're going to fall apart and revert back to old disempowering behaviors that makes your value go down in the sight of a man? Hi, Annette. Nice to see you here. Hi, ladies coming into YouTube. Welcome. And so, we're talking about confidence, how to be more confident, and it's really an inside job. It really is. The most confident women and men in the world are the ones that work from the inside out. And I was just saying earlier that yes, clothes and jewelry and accessories and cars and all of these things, our job can make us feel externally confident, but inside you might feel really insecure. And that's because there's areas, parts of you that you're not aware of, that you're too afraid to look at, because you're afraid that what you're going to find is that you're not really good enough, you're not lovable, you're not worthy. But that is the furthest thing from the truth. When you really start to go within and you do that deeper inquiry, you're going to discover the opposite. You're going to discover just how amazing you really are, and how worthy you are, and how deserving you really are. Because part of the reason why we don't connect to that is because we were listening to the rationalize. Our mind rationalizes a lot of things, and the rational lies. We've been buying the lie, and they're usually stemming from unconscious limiting beliefs that originate in our childhood. things like all men leave, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy. And so, one minute we're feeling confident, we go out on a date and a man reaches to check his messages, and we get triggered, and that I'm not good enough because he's not paying attention to me gets activated, and then we lose our confidence and we start to doubt ourselves. And then that doubting causes us to have behaviors that further disempower us. So those coping skill is diminished by those triggers. So when we get triggered, our confidence gets triggered, and we start to doubt ourselves. And then men can see that. I mean, you can see it in other people, and it's visible when you're showing up that way. It's your blind spot. You may not be aware of it, but it's visible to other people. And so that's what we work on when I say we're working on ourselves and going within. That's what I'm referring to, is that deeper inner work that you have to do in order to become more authentically confident, so that it's real, it's genuine confidence. Excuse me, not based in superficial roles and titles that you may have acquired over your life. Not that those aren't important. No, I'm not trying to dismiss or dismiss anything that you've done and achieved. Those are certainly valuable and important and need to be acknowledged. But real value, real confidence comes from you knowing your own personal innate value as a human being, as a woman. And your value is beyond, you can't it's priceless. You cannot put a price. It's not quantifiable with, like, in dollars. You can't say, well, I'm worth this, and this. It's really all about how much you value yourself. And that's how much a man is going to value you. And that's where your confidence really comes from. And that's the deeper work that I teach in a program. It's way too much for me to go much more deeper in this conversation without, just going into the whole conversation. But I know that you understand because you're following me. And so really learning how to embody that self-confidence is a journey in inward, and journey into yourself. And that's the journey that I have a privilege to working with the ladies that are working with me in my Engaged in an Age program. And ladies, I'm inviting you to go ahead and jump on the call with me if this is resonating with you, so that we can see if that's a fit for you. I'm very passionate about teaching you all how to be more confident in a very authentic way, so that you can skill up and have the love and life that you deserve, because it's your birthright, ladies. It's your birthright to have everything you want. And the only thing that gets in the way of that is all these limiting beliefs. They're the things that are making you feel insecure, fearful to try again, to get out there. And the rationalize your mind's telling you that there's no good men, or all men are scammers, or whatever those unconscious negative beliefs that you're buying into. And so, hi, Robin. And so I'm inviting you to look at the link in the box below and jump on a discovery call with me, so we can see if this is something that you're ready to move forward on. Because, ladies, I promise you, the trajectory of your life will change in such an amazing direction, in such a quick amount of time. It's unbelievable when you have that support and that guidance that I can bring you. You can turn your frown upside down, is what I call it. So I hope that this connected with you about confidence. I'm going to take a couple questions, and then thank you, Michelle. So she's just repeating what I just shared, and I appreciate that. Yes, ladies, you can have everything you want. And the work that I do, it's not about just like getting the guy. And yes, that's the bonus. That's the bonus. But what you get is you. You get the real version of yourself, that authentic version that all people want to connect to, that makes you irresistible, that makes you stand out in a crowd. Because face it, online, there's a lot of women out there online. There's a lot of men out there, and it can feel like it's a competition, but it's not a competition. Because when you embody your feminine energy and the skill set, you're not ever competing, because there's only one you in the whole universe. You're a unique being. There's nobody like you. And if you really understood the power of internalizing that piece of information, you would not be afraid anymore. You just don't believe how authentic and how unique you are because you've been listening to the rational lies of your mind, the rational lies, and probably other people. So it's really important that you see who you're surrounding yourself by and make sure you have a community and the support that you need so that you can get engaged at any age. So if you haven't taken my soulmate assessment, that is a great first step. Go ahead and go to soulmateiq.com and take that assessment and check out the frequency you're vibrating at. And I'll send you your assessment along with a feminine exercise to help you get further into alignment, which will expedite your ability to attract your soulmate. And so let me answer one more question. Let's see. On YouTube, we've got a question. Is too much confidence a bad thing? Well, the real confidence that I'm talking about is it's a confidence that has a lot of grace to it. Not needing to be right, not needing to argue your point, not needing to win. It's kind of like that martial arts, yield to overcome, that philosophy. So I'm not really competing. There is no competition. I recognize my value. I know that I'm a unique being. And so I can relax in that. And so that confidence comes from like still waters run deep. It's accessing that deep well. So it wouldn't be an external, boisterous, like over animated, look at me, look at me. It's more of a grace. It's more wisdom. It's more allowing, more receiving, not pushing. And it's just allowing things to come to you. And that's a very different kind of confidence than the one that's externally maybe extroverted and demanding like attention. That's all about a completely different conversation. So I hope that helps you make that distinction. Dating a new guy and wondering how to slow him down with grace. We've been out 4 times and I'm not ready for sex. And so it really depends on what he's looking for. I mean, you want to really get to know him, and you can tell him there's so much value in establishing our friendship because I want it to last, and I really want to understand you, and I want you to understand me. And as soon as we jump in the sack, sweetheart, we go to another place. And I think that I don't want to skip over this first piece because it's so valuable, because you're so valuable. And I want to get to know you before we add that second element. And I think that there's a lot of value in having that conversation, how much you're enjoying him, how much there is still to learn about him and him to learn about you. And that all roads lead to that. It's going to happen inevitably. So let's draw it out as long as possible and enjoy what's unfolding, and let's let that anticipation build, because I need time to feel safe with you. Women really need time to feel safe before they go to that next level. And it happens over time. In order to feel safe with a man, we have to have a certain amount of time that goes by till we feel safe enough to open ourselves physically to a man. So you just need to let him know gently with a feather that you need time to feel completely safe with him, and that you are on the same page. And when you feel that, you're going to let him know. He's the first one that gets to know. And so however you want to have that conversation, but I gave you a couple lead-ins for that. Let's do one more question. You have an awesome relationship now, but how do you keep it exciting so he doesn't get bored? That's a really great question. And well, how I keep it exciting with Michael is that we have mutual respect for each other, because we have established a really healthy communication about conscious listening. I listen to him. I remember the things he shares with me. I ask him about his day, and I remember things he shared in the past. And because of that, it's very stimulating, because I'm not just making assumptions about him. I'm staying interested, and I'm respecting him by not interrupting him, by listening to him, by caring about him. And that creates a lot of intrigue, because we're both caring about each other's life and we're witnessing each other's life. And so we still have a healthy amount of attraction for each other. The mistake that I think women make is making an assumption and stopping your communication. So you want to keep communicating, because the more communication you have, the more intimacy you have. The more intimacy you have, the deeper your relationship goes, the more it deepens. So make sure you're using your voice and you're speaking your truth when you don't understand something and you need clarification, because as awkward as that is and as hard as that is sometimes, it'll create more intimacy when you both understand each other better, especially when there's been a misunderstanding. I encourage you to lean into the misunderstandings and don't overdo it. Don't pretzel yourself to try to please him. That's going to be something that won't keep him interested. So keep your own interest. Make sure you plan a night out with your friends or go to the movie by yourself. Take a weekend every now and then to yourself, a whole weekend. Michael went skiing recently, and I had the whole weekend to myself. And I did some things that I wanted to do for me, and we didn't really talk that much. And he was doing his thing, and I was doing my thing. And then when he got back, it was really fun because we missed each other, and we had new things to share. So make sure you're always keeping your own interests, your own hobbies, your own workout, your own life. I mean, it's your life. You're not a half making a whole, you're two wholes. So keep developing your wholeness and keep working on yourself so that you have more to bring to the table. And that will keep your relationship alive and growing and expanding all the time. Okay, ladies. The thing is, we don't even trust female friends after getting together 4 times. They are going to be a good friend. I have an awesome relationship. I'm not sure if I understand that question, sweetie. I'm sorry about the 4 friends. Okay, let me see if there's another question over here. Just the few interactions we've had already given me more confidence. My attitude is changing and it's very freeing. Good for you, Robin. That's right. Yes, it's very freeing to have perspective, right? And that's what I bring, ladies, is perspective. You have a limited amount of perspective because, and it's not a bad thing, it's just that you're single and you're in this place in your life, but I'm over here and I have more perspective than you have. And what I bring is you perspective so that you can take the blinders off and open them and go, wow, there's so much more. But sometimes our fears and our limiting beliefs keep the blinders on. So what I do is help you see what's over here that you're not seeing. And I bring you perspective so that you can have the confidence to move forward, because I've already been down that road and I've proven that the steps that I recommend you take are going to work. And we're there to support you. If they don't work out the way we said, then we're going to give you the next step, and you're going to keep going until you get the outcome that you want. And that's the benefit of working in a community of like-minded women. So I'm going to end the broadcast. Thank you, ladies, for being here. I'm so happy to see you all. I was so looking forward to connecting with you. I miss you guys every day. And I'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So make sure you guys show up tomorrow at 4 for my last broadcast for this week. And if you want to post some more comments in the box afterwards, I'll be happy to answer your questions. And the one more came through that I want to answer about Valentine. What's a good idea for you for a surprise for Valentine's Day? So I don't recommend giving men gifts for Valentine's Day. I don't think that sets a very good precedence. I think that you should get something for Valentine's Day. So what you want to do is give them appreciation and respect and admiration for their efforts. And it's really great if you're in a relationship to tell them what would make you happy. Like for me, I keep it really simple. I don't make Valentine's Day such a huge deal where my man has to jump so high. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I'm a grown woman. I'm not a child. We're not children. We don't need all of the things you think you need. I mean, look at your priorities. You want a man. And so Michael knows that what would make me happy is some chocolate and some flowers. So every Valentine's Day, I come home and he has some flowers there and a box of chocolate and a card, a beautiful card. And then we go to dinner when it's convenient for us. We don't go out on Valentine's Day because it's too commercial and it's too crazy. And I get him a beautiful card and I thank him profusely for the flowers and the chocolate, and I'm loving on him, and I wear a beautiful dress out to dinner, and I'm giving him my value, my worth by showing up and embodying my feminine energy. That's what Michael's gift is he gets a feminine woman who's not competing with him, who admires and respects him. And when we walk in a restaurant, men look at us and they give him the nod. See, men like getting the nod from other men. Men look at him and they're like, he did good. So he feels really good about himself when he's with a woman who's empowered, who embodies feminine energy. Men acknowledge him and they respect him for it. And so what you can do for your date or your guy, if you're going out on Valentine's Day, is to be that woman for him so that he gets the nod. That's what he's looking for, the approval of the other men, because men, have this unspoken code of respect. So keep that in mind when you're going out. Don't dress overly sexy. That's not what is going to get you the respect. You want to be a lady in whatever you wear, and the other men will admire your beauty and the fact that you're a lady. That goes a lot further than being ultra sexy, especially at our age. That doesn't really connect as well as knowing your value, because here's why. Your value is not in your looks anymore, right? Even though you're beautiful, whatever, your value is in your self-acceptance and your self-love and your self-worth. That's what I said in the beginning of the call. That's where your real value comes from. So you don't have to identify as a sex pot. You don't have to use yourself and objectify yourself in order to have value. That's actually taking away from your value. You really need to connect with that. Your real value comes from how much you love and accept yourself. And then the icing on the cake is the beautiful dress you wear on Valentine's Day. I hope that helps you. And so that's all I have to say today. Okay, ladies, I'm so happy that you're here today with me. Sending you lots of love. I'll see you all tomorrow at 4 o'clock on my next broadcast. Bye. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like my Facebook page if you want to get the reminders about my broadcast. All right, sending you a lot of love.